Hey, what's up and welcome back to my channel. Now today I'm going to be giving a review for the film The Flash. Now this is the 13th installment in the DC Extended Universe, and again it stars Ezra Miller in the role of Barry Allen, The Flash, because you know he's repeating his role from Batman v Superman and also from the Justice League film. Now this film is directed by Andy Muschietti, and it's about Barry Allen traveling into the past to prevent like his mother's death against Bruce Wayne's wishes, you know. It's like a Ben Affleck's version of Bruce Wayne. But instead of Barry listening to what he was saying, you know, about him cause like a disruption in the world and so on, like things can go really wrong by him going back to prevent his mother's death, he still decides to go and take a chance and do this, you know, and it causes him to get stranded in a world that he's not familiar with. Now certain people are still, but things are different. There's a different Batman, Bruce Wayne. There's also another Barry Allen too as well, which explains why you see two versions of them in the film. Now this film has been getting excellent reviews. Now this is in the beginning, but now it's been kind of getting mixed reviews and so on. And I kind of think I'm kind of the crowd that think it's kind of mixed. I still thought it was a pretty cool film. I enjoyed it, you know, but I still don't think it was as good as they was originally saying in the beginning. You know, there's a lot of fanfare throughout the film and so on. And there's certain things I thought, you know, it just felt kind of flat, you know. It didn't really, you know, it wasn't too exciting. Even emotional scenes in the film, and I felt at times I didn't really feel anything. It was kind of an emotional scene where I didn't really feel anything, you know. But I still thought it was a pretty entertaining film, you know, and it was kind of good, getting a good look at Flash, himself, Barry Allen, you know, because I am a fan of that particular superhero, so it was a good seeing you know, their particular the theatrical film version of him, that's different from how he is on a TV show and so on. But yeah, you also have Michael Keaton, who shows up in the film as Bruce Wayne Batman, and he turns out to be an alternate version of Batman that Barry isn't familiar with. Because once Barry gets stranded in this new timeline, this new world, he ends up needing this particular Batman's help to actually go and save Superman. And it turns out the Superman that they got to save isn't really Clark Kent, you know. It's a Supergirl. It's actually Kara, so it isn't her Clark Kent, but it is still a Kryptonian. And she's known as Kara Zor-El. She's Kara Supergirl, and she's played by Sasha, I think Calle. I think that's how you pronounce her name. Because she shows up in the film, you know, they have to go save her and so on. I touch on all that. But then you also have General Zod, who shows up and he's actually pursuing Supergirl too as well. Because I don't want to spoil the film too much, you know, I just leave it at that. Now you also have the love interest in the film, I guess you could say Iris West, and she's played by Kiersey Clemons. So she does have a lot of interaction with Barry throughout the film. Because the film does open, you can see Barry's late for work, you know, and he's trying to get breakfast and so on. And he's needed in Gotham City. Alfred calls him to come to Gotham City. And you do have Alfred played by Jeremy Irons again. So he needs Barry to come show up in Gotham City to help save I think some kind of destruction that's going on. Because at the time Batman, Bruce Wayne, you know, the Ben Affleck version, he can't save this, what was going on. He had to actually go and pursue some thieves or something because this part where he seemed on the bat cycle, so he's riding through the city. Now that scene with Batman right there is done very well. I thought it was awesome, you know. It's pretty cool, you know. There's a lot of fun scenes in that, and plus the scene especially with Flash himself, because it was cool, you know. How they slowed down the time because he's moving so fast. He had to save all these babies and this woman, even a dog. At one point he had to run up the building because the babies are falling out the building. I thought that moment was kind of awesome. Now I must admit there's a lot of scenes with the Flash like that in the film, which I think is pretty cool because we get to see what's going on with him, and when he's in the Speed Force, you know. I think some of those kind of scenes are too long because everything's just slow down while he's doing all this running and stuff. But at the same time, I do believe they're too long. They show him doing all that kind of stuff too long. But other than that, it was pretty cool. You also have Nora Allen, who's Barry's mother. You know, she's played by I think Maribel Verdú. You can see a lot of her in the film too as well. And I like the various chemistry between both Barry Allens. I think they're both played by Ezra Miller, and they're constantly on screen together. You know. And they're always together. I think the chemistry, how he has to switch between playing both this Barry Allen and then this Barry Allen. I think that was kind of cool how he did that, you know. And I had to be a challenge for him too to take on both of these performances, because he had to play two different Barry Allens, you know. And I kind of admit too, I think when the Barry Allen, the other Barry Allen can just accept that this Barry Allen is from another town, on another world. I thought that was kind of off, but this is you know, based on comic book type stuff, so you can't help but accept that. But I thought when Michael Keaton showed up, it was kind of cool. It's a spoiler territory. It was kind of cool seeing them when they actually go to Wayne Manor. it was kind of cool to see him being like old and aged and his hair is like long and stuff, because you don't get to see this like in the trailers or anything. I thought it was kind of super. At first I didn't think it was like Michael Keaton, you know, that Bruce Wayne, but it turns out it was him that eventually shaved all this stuff off and everything. Then he helps them, you know. Now the look of Batman in this film I thought was pretty awesome. I like how we get like his armory, like all the various suits that he used throughout the years. I think that's pretty cool, and I hope they kind of explore that idea. It probably be like in a comic book or something like that. The various suits that he had, I thought that was pretty awesome. You know, you could tell that he actually wore throughout the years and so on. But when it goes to that particular like base to rescue the Kryptonian Supergirl, I thought that moment was kind of too cool too, because you see like him like in his Batwing, and he takes both Barry Allens in the Batwing. The Batwing is kind of different now too. It's kind of different. Plus, there's also like a daytime sequence where you can see Batman fighting in the daytime with them too. I thought that was kind of cool, because you know we always used to see him at nighttime. Seemed like it. Even like the Ben Affleck version, you know, you get to see him in the daytime. So I thought all that was pretty cool. Now throughout the film, there's all like constant like music that references back to like the Batman 1989 film, like that particular theme. Even like the Flash theme himself, it sounded like it was kind of taken from like the TV show. It's like the TV show theme to a certain extent. But it was still okay though. And of course, you know, you have Michael Shannon as General Zod, like I mentioned before, and he's in the film. I guess you could say he's kind of the villain, but there is like another antagonist that shows up in the film. And I was kind of surprised by this, because I already had saw him too anyway, like in figure form. I saw like a tease of what this character particularly was, you know. And I kind of, once the film starts, you can already kind of get an idea where the film is going. And I already have figured out who the particular villain was. You know, you can already see it clear as day who he would turn out to be, but I ain't gonna spoil it, I'll just leave it at that. But overall, I thought the film was pretty entertaining. I'm trying to hit everything. I like all like the various like nods and references, like all the various like other like multiverse DC characters. I think that was pretty cool. I'm not gonna spoil it. Like, you can see like other references, like other like DC films from like the past, even like shows and so on, like the various different versions of these heroes and stuff. I thought that was pretty cool. But overall, like I said, the Flash visual, I like the look of his suit too. I think it looks cool and so on. And visually, it looks awesome, especially when he's like running real fast and everything. The slow, I think everything is like visually like awesome. And like I said, I like the look of Michael Keaton's like suit and so on. But like I said, there are moments with him, like the Michael Keaton version of Batman, where it's like, you know, it's like, you know, you don't really feel like too impressed. You know, it's like, oh, okay, we got the Batman 1989 like, in this film, but it's like, you know, it's like you like don't really feel like anything like that. You know, it's just something kind of off about it. But I still think it's cool that he was able to bring him back to play like an aged version of Bruce Wayne Batman. And of course, you know, there are like some Easter eggs throughout the film. You know, like if you guys stay and watch the credits and so on and everything like that, because there are stuff after the film once it goes off and all that kind. And various, like I say, other heroes and kind of and stuff show up too as well from the previous films. And you probably can kind of suspect who you probably will see, you know. But anyway, I thought it was still a pretty great film. I feel like at times it had some pacing issues. It probably could have been better. I'm hoping I'm catching everything that I want to talk about in the film. But other than that, yeah, I would definitely recommend it, especially for fans of The Flash. It's kind of sad that it isn't doing too good at the box office, you know. But then I'm giving this like a B-. So I would definitely recommend it for fans of like The Flash, you know, or like the DC Extended Universe films, because it is definitely connected to those like previous films, you know, in the franchise. But anyway, I'm giving The Flash a B-. Please leave a comment and subscribe too as well.